All right, here we go. Um, we have Willie D today. Now, Willie was actually on Vlad TV recently, but I had to call you up because of the situation that just happened with George Floyd being murdered in Minneapolis. And we recently found out that George was actually affiliated with DJ Screw. He rapped under the name Big Floyd. So having someone like yourself, being a Houston legend, and also someone that's always spoken out very strongly about social injustice, I just felt like we just needed to get you on the line today to talk about your thoughts about what just happened, what's actually happening right now, because Minneapolis is on fire. The
Yeah.
riots are still going, buildings are being burned down, police are getting their windows broken, and people are just upset. So, how do you feel about this whole thing?
First of all, RIP George Floyd. Condolences to the family. Condolences to the homie, Steve Jackson. He's a good friend of George's. So, um, I mean, it's just sad, bro. It's just heartbreaking to see somebody in real time lose their life. Like we're watching it and we know he's gonna die if this guy keeps his knee on his neck. He's gonna die. And George even uttered the ominous words, "They're gonna kill me." And I know as I'm sitting there watching, I'm having flashbacks of Eric Garner. And I know this is probably entering George's mind at some point because keep in mind, he had his foot on he had his knee on his neck for at least 4 minutes. And then after he stopped moving, he kept it there an additional 4 minutes. So George probably had the same thoughts. And I'm sure that officer had the same thoughts because they got the memo about Eric Garner's death just like everybody else. But he totally disregarded that, he totally disregarded that whole situation and all of the pain that it caused and the legalities that ensued. He didn't care. It's like, I'm the police and I'll do what I want. And so what? So what if you try to connect this to Eric Garner and it happened before and cops were persecuted and prosecuted, still beat it. And I'm going to beat it. He had that type of mentality. So I just know when it comes to bullying, man, I grew up in virtually a combat zone. It was like a combat zone. So I just going to the store was an adventure. Just walking to the corner store was an adventure. You could literally walk to that corner store, and by the time you get back, somebody on your block is dead. You're passing by a body on the street. So I understand how to deal with bullies. You have to bully bullies. They don't understand anything else. They have no sensibilities. They have no regard for humanity, no regard for the respect of others, for other people's God-given right to just exist, to be able to move freely, unimpeded. They have no regard for human life. These are subhumans, bro. These dudes that are doing this is subhuman behavior. There is absolutely no mercy for them because they have no mercy for the citizens that they roll around and control because they're not even patrolling, they're controlling. And that's what it's all about. So, I'm angry, but my anger is calculated. I'm not a dummy. I think. I'm not going to go out and do something. Whatever I do, it's going to be calculated. If I will put it like this, I will do something, but it's going to be calculated. And I think that these guys, they're not going to stop the killing until they're held accountable. Police officers do not need more training. They need accountability. That will stop it. Accountability on all fronts. Protesting on all fronts. There's various ways to protest. You can protest by holding up signs, making the signs, pumping your fist, marching, boycotting, organizing, group economics. You can protest by defending those who have been wronged. And you can protest by making sure that those who violate the civil rights of others are punished. And I mean punished severely. One of the things that has to happen is that police officers need to be held to a higher standard than the public like they were intended to be held. Or at least they act like they were intended to be held. See, they took an oath. I didn't take an oath to protect and serve the community. But I do still protect and serve my community. If I see something going on, I'm not only going to say something, I'm going to do something, because I know if you violate my neighbor, I'm next. So it's not happening in my community. So police officers need to be held accountable. If citizens, if you or I can kill a police officer, and we automatically know, oh man, and everybody automatically know, oh man, they're going to kill him. They're going to fry him. The same thing needs to happen when police officers violate the civil rights of others. They need to be murdered. They need to be state-sanctioned murdered. They should be executed. That should be a law. They should be held to a higher standard than you and I. If you go out there and you train to be a police officer, you train to protect the public, you're trained. What the hell is all of this for if your ass is going to be worse than the people that you so-called are out here trying to capture and keep the public safe from? You're the boogeyman, not George Floyd. You're the boogeyman, not Ahmaud Arbery. You're the boogeyman, not Breonna Taylor. You're the boogeyman. The boogeyman got a badge and a gun.
Yeah, very, very sad situation. I do hope that the cop that did it gets the death penalty. I think that will send a message out to every other cop to say, okay, well, next time I do this, I am risking my own life by taking this person's life. So let me think twice, and let me think 3 times, and let me think 10 times, and make sure that I have no other choice but to kill this man. Yeah. To protect my own life and the people around me before I actually do it. Not because he's big and he's strong and he might punch me in the face or whatever else.
Right. You're on the money, man. You're on the money. If they knew, just like we know. See, every cop is not going to adhere to the law. Every cop is not going to follow the law just because they changed it and they're now holding cops accountable. But to hold these cops accountable, it will serve as a deterrent, the same way it does for citizens. Most of us do not commit crimes just because we're nice people. We're good-hearted people. We say, I don't want to do that because I don't want to go to jail. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get in trouble. You see? They're saying, I want to do this because I ain't going to get in trouble. I like this. Like this guy was getting off. He got off to having his knee on dude's neck. Like he totally ignored everyone's pleas. Let's say he was tone deaf and he didn't give a damn about George. The people on the streets were pleading with this dude and giving him all kinds of scenarios. You're killing him. You're sucking the air out of him. Even if he couldn't understand what George was saying. The people around him, several people, he's already in compliance, whether it's voluntarily or not. He's in compliance right now. He's in compliance right now. There's nothing he can do. The dude is subdued. His hands are cuffed behind his back. The man is face down on the concrete. And you keep your knee on his neck. Look, fam, It's besides the fact that the man had his knee on his neck until the dude stopped moving. He kept it there for an additional 4 minutes after he stopped moving. This is a subhuman, bro. And the ones who helped him, they're subhuman. I suspect that they helped him because he's helped them in the past violate the rights of citizens of the United States of America. I suspect that they all take turns in violating citizens. Look, I'm gonna do this one. You know, you make sure you look out for me. And ain't nobody gonna say nothing because you tell on me, I got some dirt on you. A lot of times, they won't even ride with each other unless they know you're dirty. They won't even ride with another cop unless they know the cop is dirty. Think about that. Think about that. How many of us will ride with somebody that we only ride with somebody if they're dirty? It's like, look, man, look, dog, I don't want you getting in my car, man, because, you follow the law. I don't want you jumping in my car because you follow the law. You don't get in trouble. I need somebody who's gonna get in trouble and put my life in jeopardy and put my freedom in jeopardy. I need somebody like that. Can you find me somebody? Where else they do that at? Police officers. They look forward to having partners who will assist them in committing crimes. They look forward to having officers who are partners, who have a sordid record of violating the public trust. This is what they do. This is a culture. It's not a one-off. It's not a situation of a lone wolf. This is a culture, bro. And until they start being held accountable, it's not going to change. And let me tell you something else to further my point. It is time for the citizens to step in and start doing what they got to do to protect each other also from these tyrants, these subhumans. Because I understand, well, it's just going to happen to you. You're going to end up getting shot if you do something. Look, man, you're going to get shot anyway. They're violating everybody. If it ain't you, it's going to be your mama. It's going to be your sister. It's going to be your dad. It's going to be your cousin. It's going to be your best friend. They're taking turns and they're getting around to everybody. Sooner or later, it's going to hit you directly. So if the citizens of America, the citizens of any government entrust the government to protect them, if the government is unwilling to protect you because they have the means to protect you, they have the resources, but if they're unwilling to protect the people must take the law into their own hands and protect themselves. In fact, that is part of the Constitution. That is not illegal. It is not illegal to defend yourself against a tyrant government. That is not illegal. It's a constitutional right. So I'm saying that we act accordingly to the Constitution. Our actions should reflect the Constitution. The first law of nature is self-preservation. So if you ain't about preserving your own life and ensuring your children's future, something is wrong with you. There are people out there that are more comfortable with accepting police brutality, having the police beat them up, having violence perpetuated against them by the police than they are protecting themselves and using violence against the police. You understand what I'm saying? In short, there are people out there that are more comfortable with the police using violence against them than they using violence against the police. Think about that. It's okay for them to beat the hell out of me, but I'm so afraid of what might happen if I beat the hell out of them for defending myself, for preserving my life. I'm just going to allow them to just keep on kicking my ass. Man, Hey, I wasn't raised like that, bro. My mama would turn over in her grave, bro, if she thought she had a sucker like that for a son. Ain't none of my brothers built like that. Like, nah, bro. And guess what? Those officers, their family members, their friends, the people they hang out with, a lot of them ain't built like that either. If that was happening to them, they'd be up in arms. So I ain't got no problem with the people that was looting. Yeah, you know, there's other ways to protest, like I said. There's many ways to protest. People looting is one of those type of things that happen when there's unrest, when there's civil unrest. That goes with it. That just look out for it. That's what happens. People vandalize. And let me say this too. What is the difference from people looting and vandalizing? Because we've seen other people vandalize, specifically white people vandalize when they riot or they protest something. They'll vandalize stuff. They turn over. In fact, they actually vandalize stuff in celebration. They win a championship or lose a championship. They vandalize. And it's just, the news comes on. Well, yeah, Bob, some people just took it a little too far. You know, they got a little rowdy because they were upset. But hey, next year. Same newscaster. And people out here, they're looting, they're vandalizing things and destroying property. I don't understand why do people have to destroy property. Why do they have to do that? When, let it go to court and somebody, okay, what happened was wrong, but two wrongs don't make a right. They got a whole different way of broadcasting the news when it's on the other side, when the shoe is on the other foot. The mass media, mainstream media, are PR agents for the government. They're all in cahoots. They're in cahoots with the police department. Why is it that every time the police kill, the newscaster was just report the news as, report whatever the spokesperson for the police department said as the facts. But when a citizen or an eyewitness says, no, it didn't happen like that, you say, the witness claims that, the witness. See, they're all in it together, bro. So this is why it's important to have media outlets, independent media outlets, so that we can get some type of balance. Because these mainstream media outlets ain't it, bro. They're in cahoots with the police, law enforcement, the government, and oftentimes they're not even allowed to move around unless they're going to play the game.
Yeah, messed up time right now. Willie, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts as someone who has always stood up against police brutality, social injustice, and an OG in Houston, Texas, where, like I said, this man had his roots in. Let's just kind of get through this, and hopefully this situation is going to be a wake-up call for some laws to actually change.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that it will, but
let me say this, Vlad. There are a lot of black people who have white friends. They have white friends. A lot of black people date white people. They're at marriages with white people. If your white friend, your white significant other is not on the front lines, if they're not doing something, like I say, there's various ways to protest. Everybody ain't got to do this. Everybody got to wave a sign. Everybody ain't got to throw a bottle, but you can organize. You can participate in group economics. You can boycott, you can make sure that when these police officers are showing their naked asses, that you raise all kinds of hell and you say, I want that punk's neck. I want him. I want he got to go down. If your friends and your significant others are not as passionate and concerned about what's going on with these police officers killing black people disproportionately, unarmed black people murdering, just flat out cold-blooded murdering black folks. If you ain't built like that, if your white friends, your white significant others are not built like that, you need to get some new ones.
I agree. I completely agree. Willie D, no more talk.
Absolutely.
Till next time. Peace.